back to my YouTube channel. It's so great to have you here. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a bona fide family member, bona fide. Not that I said bona fide, not bona fide. That's the right pronunciation, bona fide. Wow. This is the very first video I'm doing in this house. So you guys let me know. Do you like the setting? Like, do you like it? Do you like it? Or if you guys just want like a plain background, you know, no pillows, no chair, I'll probably just do that in my study, which is just like very close to this place. Let me see if I can show you guys. Okay, you see that room right there? Yeah, that table, that chair, yeah, that's my my study. Okay, so you guys let me know if you like it here. Okay, let me see if yeah guys, like look at the stress I'm having to go through, you know, trying to look for a good angle. So wow, where do we start this from? Just right. So since I announced my relocation, you know, I've gotten a lot of questions. How did you do it? You know, when did you travel? All the questions, guys. You people want to joke me, Nicolade. But guys, I really appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. Like, thank you guys. Like, I feel to thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, so I actually want to use this video. In fact, in this particular video, I want to talk to you about before you travel. Before you travel, I won't be answering all your questions. So I've got people asking me about, you know, scholarship opportunities, asking me about visa and all that. So what I did was to speak with someone who is an expert in that field. I'm not. So I spoke to her, and she accepted to come on the show with us. So guys, very soon we're going to be having some special features on this channel. You know, I'm going to bring in her, asking her some of your questions, and she's going to be answering from an expert's perspective. So when did I actually begin to? Okay, so one of the things you need to note fundamentally if you want to travel is that it's not a day's job. Like, you don't just wake up, decide you want to travel, and then tomorrow you're out. Okay, it's not a day's job. I feel like I need to say that. I'm really trying to try a little bit of accent, so you guys should be ready. And British. What? Guys, I'm sorry. Okay, so Mary, be serious. Okay, all right. So if you want to travel, or if you have, you know, the plan, you love it, you really need to know that it's not a day's job, and it's not something you just decide and then the next day it happens. It's a lot of planning. Like, you must have, you know, understood that, yeah, you really want to travel. Now, I also need to state it because so over a period of time, you know, I've been writing about, you know, why I feel like people should, you know, travel, get another experience. I mean, aside just Nigeria and all that. And you know, I've been getting people saying, oh Mary, the way you're talking, you're making people depressed and all that. No, please, I don't want that kind of energy here. I'm begging you. If you know that me talking about living in a, you know, more sane environment is making you depressed, I'm begging you, please stop watching this video. Like, don't watch any of my video that talks about relocation, because truth is, I have seen it, right? I'm in it, and I can tell you for a fact that the difference is clear. I mean, having to live in a place where you don't have to bother about some things, it's really, I mean, it does a lot for me. I don't know about other people. You know, I've also got people say, oh Mary, you're talking about it as if it's easy, you know, to live abroad. Like, you know, you don't talk about the expenses, and you guys should be coming down. Wherever you are staying, there are expenses everywhere. I mean, back when I was in Nigeria, I mean, my parents were paying for house rent and all that. I feel like the difference is that because maybe sometimes, you know, most of us, maybe we were living with our parents and all that, So you're not probably the one paying the direct bills. The only difference is that by the time you travel or when you come over to a new place, you have to bother yourself about that. And I'm sure that for the married people, you know what it is. You're paying for the house rent, you're paying for lights, you're paying for water, you're paying for everything, and you know you're also catering for your children. So please, I'm begging you, don't make it look like abroad is expensive. Oh yes, it's expensive because it is abroad. You know, so I've got a lot of this comment, and that's why I really want to just quickly address it now. Say, oh Mary, you're making it look like it's so easy. Please, where is it not easy? Please, like, where? Back then in Nigeria, it's not like it's also easy like that. It's not a walk in the park. So you don't come to me and make me feel guilty for talking about this. Guys, I've experienced it, and I can tell you forever, like, the difference is clear. You're learning in an environment that it affords you the, you know, serenity, the calmness, the ability to even learn well, to study well. I mean, guys, now I don't like all this energy, please. Okay, so let me go back to the basic conversation, Chari. I just wanted to talk about that because somebody will now come here now and say, Mary, you are talking about it. I see, please, Joe. Okay, guys, so if you really want to travel, like if you desire to travel, and also I need to also state that, you know, for us as human beings, our desires differs, right? The things I love is definitely different from the things you love. Some people don't they don't fancy travel, right? They don't even see big deal in it. They don't see why they should have the passport. They don't see it as a big deal, and it's okay. Somebody like my father, for instance, doesn't fancy it. Like, even when he had the opportunity to, oh, my dad was like, you know, there are people like that, and it's okay. Please, it's okay if all you just want is, you know, just that life, you know, wherever you are, yourself, your family, you're comfortable, you're good, you know, you can afford your 3 square meals, you don't need to travel, you don't need to see another world. It's okay, please. It's totally okay. And if you are like me, who wants to see the world, who wants to tour the world, who wants to make new friends, who wants to go to the Mediterranean, who wants to travel to California and the Bahamas, if you are like me, guy, it's also totally okay. All right, so whatever you decide, whatever you choose for yourself, it's okay. All right, please, it's okay. So this is not a video to come and say, all of you, plus for God's sake, not all of us will travel. Do you get? Not everyone will travel. So our priorities differs, our desires and the things we want from life also differs. So I'm just saying this so that nobody will now come and say, hey, it's Mary that pushed me. Hey Joe, I'm just here jejely in my abroad, sitting down and, you know, following my own journey in life. Okay, so let's get into the video. So if you really want to travel, right, you have the desire to travel, you want to see the world, you want to maybe go study in another country, and also you need to also know that one of the easiest way of relocating is actually through study. One of the easiest way, and it's actually so easy to the fact that, you know, some persons even get scholarship to say, oh, you know what, we are awarding you this scholarship, come and study in our country. Some scholarship is 50%, some scholarship is going to take care of, you know, all your bills and all that, depending on the kind of scholarship you get. Now that is one of the easiest ways to relocate. But either by scholarship, either by whatever means, legal means, you need to know that it's not a day's job. Like I said, you must plan for it. So for me, I already had the mind that I would relocate this year. I mean, it was one of my goals when I started this 2021. It was one of my goals. Myself and another friend of mine, we set that goal to say we want to leave this country this year. How it will happen, I didn't know, like, but I knew I wanted to leave. And I remember writing it on my board back then in my house in Nigeria, that I want to relocate. In fact, 4 things specifically I put on my board. I wanted to print my books, I wanted to relocate, I wanted to get a certification, and what's the 4th one? I can't even remember, but there were 4 basic things. Like those things were very key in my heart, like on my mind. These were the things I wanted to achieve this year. Okay, and then I think I'd also start my mentorship academy, and I began to, you know, tick them one after the other. I printed my book in March or in February, then I sold in March. You know, it was launched in March. My book, Suffering and Smiling, The Tale of a Lagos Banker, where I chronicled what my journey was in the banking industry all throughout my 6 years and 6 months and all that. And, you know, like for the first 2 weeks, I sold over 100 copies. I printed more copies and so much. So that for me was a very big, like, success, like accomplishment. Like, right, Mary, this goal ticked. I started my mentorship academy, and it was also ticked. I wanted to get a certification in broadcast, and immediately I was done with all of those things I wanted to do. I went to study in National Broadcast Academy, which was for just a few weeks, about 9 weeks or that, or thereabout. You know, made inquiries, and then I went to study. Now the last one was travel. Now I began to ask myself, I really need to relocate. I want to travel. I want to leave this country. It was one of my big goals. And then so I began to also speak about it, right? I began to talk about it with people. Oh, you know, I really desire to travel out and all that. And specifically, one of my friends who I told, she's currently based in Canada, and she's schooled in Cyprus. So when I told her, she was like, in fact, she said something similar. She said, Mary, you should leave Nigeria. You know, when we are talking, and I'm also going to talk about the need for you to have friends who inspire you. You know, Loretta is, you know, a young lady who is doing fantastically well for herself in Canada. She's working. She's also doing some, you know, professional courses. And the time I look at her, I'm like, wow, babe, you're doing well. And then I mentioned that when I was preparing for this, my travel and all that, that girl gave me a freaking 100K, like 100,000. Hey, God, like, you know, when I'm talking about those kind of friends, right? I actually had a lot of things like that, right? But so, you know, so we began to really talk about it, and then she said, Mary, I can really help you process your relocation to Cyprus. And, you know, like, joke, like play, we're like, are you serious? Then I also alerted my other friend Raymond. I'm sure some of you must have seen his pictures. You know, Raymond has even been trying other, you know, countries. Like, I think there was even a time Raymond had to go and submit his passport at the international office in Abuja to say he wanted to travel, you know, let them do some processing and all that. I'm saying this for you to know that it was not a day's job. It was not something we planned in 1 month and then it happened. No, these were the things we have been talking about. These are the things we have been planning and working towards. And we were very intentional and conscious about everything we were doing. All right? So when Loretta told me she could do this, I'm like, oh wow, are you serious? Okay, then we went to, what certificates do you have, you know, what degrees have you got and all that. You know, I submitted everything, and she said this is the amount you pay for consultation and processing and all that. I paid the money, and then in a couple of weeks, guys, that in fact, I was shocked. In a couple of weeks, Loretta came back and said, Mary, admission letter is out. I said, what? I'm like, like, are you serious? She said yes, that they verified the documents, they were authentic and all that. We're able to secure admission for you in this school. These are your chances, these are the things you can study. And I'm like, wait, are you kidding me? Yes, guys, that was how it happened. But back then I was still in broadcast school. And, you know, when everything happened, I didn't even tell my parents, because I mean, this was just something I just wanted to try. And she's like, one of the easiest countries, or one of the easy countries to enter, or one of the easiest countries you can actually come into is Cyprus, because you really don't need, you know, to go and sit for a visa interview or something. And I'm like, where have I been all my life? How come I didn't know this? Because, and that's something about information, right? See, what you don't know, you do not know. That's just the truth. What you don't know is senior to you. And I'm sure some of you will be as surprised, you know, watching this vlog as I was surprised. Like, I was shocked. Okay? But I had some should I say challenges now, you know, getting my transcript. I had to travel to school, you know, get my transcript, pay for some things and all that. But the truth is, after everything, like after every I submitted those documents, they were verified, and boom, admission letter came out. And I'm like, wow. Guys, I mean it, yeah, right. So, and then we later said, oh, okay, it's not full scholarship. I didn't get a full scholarship, only got 50% scholarship. And the truth is that some of these countries are actually giving out scholarship to Africans because they want you to come over and study, you know, and it's also for them maybe some bragging rights, you know, that kind of thing. So some people get 75% scholarship, some people get 50% scholarship, as the case may be. So I got 50% scholarship, and I was meant to pay $3,000. Right? You heard me right. Yes. So that's another part of it. A lot of you probably think, oh, by the time you get scholarship and everything, they're going to give you everything you need. You know, no, you need money. Like, you need money. You need money. You need money. Maybe not so much. I know people who have spent like 5 million, you know, trying to process you know, relocation and all that. Some people have spent more than that, you know, but I spent roughly about 2-point-something million. Yeah, I didn't even sit to calculate it, but that was actually what it costed. And these were fees. These are not fees I paid to agents. No, these are funds or monies I paid for myself to secure some things. So I'm going to also give you the breakdown later on in this video. So the first thing actually is the fact that I secured the admission. I got the admission, and then by the time I pay a particular amount of money, I was going to be given the letter. Okay, now what the school did, or what my school did, BAU did for me, was to break the payment into bits. Okay, so the $3,000 I'm not meant to pay at once. So initially, my initial payment was, I think, $1,350, and then other payments were now broken like into the year. Do you get? So when I was able to get that $1,350, I paid that, and I needed to pay that. That's like the very first payment, because it is until when you pay that they can now agree that, oh, you're coming to school in our country, you're coming to our school, you know, and those monies are non-refundable. It is not refundable. It is not refundable. So I paid that money, and then, you know, I came over to no, not came over, it's not time to come over. I was still in Nigeria, you know. I got the person working for me, working on it for me over here, you know. So I paid, and then it was now time to now begin to get other monies. Guys, I'm also going to say something here that if you really desire to travel, like if you really desire to travel out, and you look at yourself, you know that you don't have anybody helping you, right? You know that you don't have, maybe your parents are, you know, an average family like mine. I tell my story a lot, and I'm telling it to encourage people, actually, because I'm purely a product of grace. And I mean this right now, like, I'm purely a product of grace. Everything that has been happening to me, every of my milestones are things that I didn't just get maybe because I deserve it. Yeah, sometimes I walk and, you know, I get it, but I note it down that there is a divine intervention in everything that has to do with me. And this is the point where I will now strongly talk about faith and the power of our confessions. You know, something happened when I was about to, you know, when I was preparing to travel, when I saw the bills, like the things I needed to pay for, because take for instance, before you come over here, you must have your accommodation. You know, you must have your accommodation, and you are going to pay for your accommodation before they can even approve that, oh, you're coming into the country. So they need to see, you know, some of those documents. You're booking your flights, guys. My flight ticket was 741,000, I think so. Yeah, that was the amount I paid to book my flight ticket. So it was 700 and something, I really can't remember. My very first payment also to my school was around 700 plus, because at that time dollar flew high. Like, that time dollar was like 570 something, 580, you know. Dollar was crazy. And, you know, I remember back then when I was in broadcast school, my roommates would testify to this, but sometimes I would just come to the room and I would say, God, why is dollar rising? Why? Because everything that was happening to dollar was affecting me, because the money was increasing and I didn't have the money to pay, right? So I'll be feeling bad every day. I'll be watching the dollar fee, like what's happening to dollar today. I'll be getting updates. When I see the amount, I'll be like, hey, dollar has increased again. Like, because the more it increases, the more the money I'm going to pay increases, and I'm like, God, what do I do? At some point I was already losing hope that I'll probably not meet up, because I didn't have the funds. I needed about 2 million, guys. I was already thinking that I would not meet up, because I'm like, my parents could not even afford that kind of money. So how will I be able to raise these funds? And so I have this habit. I'm not the type that will come on social media to say, oh, I got admission, people raise funds for me. I don't know how to do those things, right? I had the option of doing that, because and if I probably announced it, maybe some person would have just said, let's pity her, let's give her money. But again, I just one of those days I was just praying, and I'm like, God, please, I don't know how you're going to do it, but this money must come out. Like, this money must come out. I was also careful about the people I was talking to about this opportunity I got, but I don't want to lose it. Now, there was somebody I spoke to who had also traveled, but came back to the country, and when I told him that, oh, I got this admission and all that, the first thing he said is that, Mary, you're not going to lose this admission, you will travel. When he said that, I'm like, okay. I have faith, like, okay, fine, no problem. And guys, how God provided for all the money I needed, like all the money, like the over 2 million, over 2 million naira in a period of 1 month. Was it even 1 month? I'm not sure, because you would not believe that I only had a week to prepare myself for this travel. So when I mean prepare, like, I had just 1 week to buy the things I needed to buy my luggage, buy my winter jacket, everything, my food stuff. I had just 1 week, because I was in Broadcast Academy and I was staying in the hostel, right? We finished broadcast, we ended closed from Broadcast Academy on the 29th of September, and my flight was scheduled for the 7th of October. Calculated, so when I mean a week, I meant a week, because I came over to Abuja on the 6th of October, and then I traveled on the 7th. I got here on the 8th. Yes, it was that spontaneous. Now, so all I had to prepare for this whole trip, this relocation, was just like a month plus. And how God provided that money, guys, I didn't borrow. This is the part where I say God is. So you understand it when I say I'm a product of it, because people began to bless me. Jesus. I have people like, sweet Holy Spirit. People began to bless me. I spoke with some of my, in fact, one of my friends was the first to give me 50,000. Originally, I told him that, oh, I got this admission. It was like, wow, Mary, I'm so happy for you. I don't have a lot, I just had, and in fact, he just had his wedding recently, like I think a month or so. So I knew if he had told me that I don't have, I would have understood, because the guy just wedded. So I understood. Gave me 50K. Another one gave me 100K. Another one, and people were blessing me. And the height of it was when somebody gave me should I mention the amount? 1 million naira. You heard me right. Yeah, somebody actually gave me that amount of money, and he said, Mary, just take this money and use it for your travel. You must travel. Guys, it was at that point I knew that when God is really showing off with you, your story will be like a movie. You will not understand how it is happening. Even you'll be thinking about it, you will not understand it. When I saw that money, I said, what? Like, wait. I'm like, wait, am I going to return this money? Like, when am I? It was like, don't bother about it for now. Just go first. I need you to travel. I need you to go. I'm like, you know why I'm sharing this with you and giving you these details? I don't want you to think all hope is lost, especially for those of you who really desire to travel, who really desire to, do big things. You want to travel, you want to be in a global space, and you look at yourself, you know the kind of family you are coming from, and you see that I cannot, my parents do. I'm telling you specifically because, see, if you have faith, like a grain of mustard seed, don't bother about how it's going to happen, but God is going to show up for you. God is going to show up for you. I'm about to get serious, but no, I'm not going to get serious. God is going to show up for you. I'm telling you. And guess what? Somebody else gave me 500,000 naira. All these things happened in like maybe 2 weeks or so, like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. At some point, I told Loretta, who is my friend, I said, Loretta, I'm not sure I'm going to meet up. Because I was looking at the date and I was looking at the deadline. Everything had deadlines, and you know the way these Onyibo people do. It's not a time that, it's not like, once they set a deadline, that is it. And Jesus, when those things began to happen, I'm like, God, what is happening? God, what are you doing? I know that there's some point, there were some times I came on my status and then I wrote, God, I don't know what you are doing, but I'm loving it. I don't know how you're doing these things, but God, what is this? I was too shocked. At some, there were days where I would just sit on my bed back then in a hostel in NBA, and I would just cry. I would just cry. I'm like, God, you are making a name for yourself in my life. Like, see how you're just showing me forth. That's exactly. I'm like, God, God, what are you doing? You're just showing yourself. You're just making my life like, babe, I'm the one, leading you. I'm the one holding you. And I'm like, God, I love this. Like, what? And all those things happened. I was able to get a house. Look at the place I got, guys. Like, I have roommates, I have housemates, but it's so big. It's so big. Like, when my friends, whenever my friends come here, they are entering and they're like, wow, Mary, this place is so big. This house is so beautiful. Like, the kitchen, the study, everywhere is just, And when I saw the picture, I'm like, wait, Mary, am I the one that will be living in this house? Wow. And I'm just sharing this to encourage you, actually, because, oh Jesus, when God is ready to turn your story around, you will not believe it is you. You'll be looking at yourself again, you'll be like, is this me? Is this me? And that is who God is for you. That is who God is for you. So I'm telling you this because I really need you to have faith in God. See, these things are not happening because it is Mary. No. I know of somebody who, I don't know if I should hear this right here. I don't know if you will like it. But I know of somebody who no, let me not say it. He may not like it. But, when he was telling me his stories, the only thing he can say is that I know a God who can take a man from the gate and put him in the palace. Like, I know a man who can literally pick up somebody from the dungeon, like on the dunghill, and set him on the city to say, I'm going to make a name for myself in your life. And everyone will say it, everyone will hear it, and they will know that this one, it is God that did it. Like, when he's telling me a story, I'm like, oh, wow, this God is, I don't know what to say. So I'm really sharing this with you because, and again, if you don't have a relationship with God, you are shortchanging yourself. You're shortchanging yourself, because at the end of the day, you actually don't have to losing. Truth is, that's it. You know. So all those things happened, and yeah, I was, you know, ready for my trip. You know, of course, the funds were already there. You know, I did all the payments and all that, and then I was set to leave. I hope you have been enjoying this gist for all this while. I don't have juice today, so you see me not drinking anything. My granola is in my room. I forgot to bring them out. Now, I promised myself I won't cry in this video. You know, I know that I will get to the part where all my emotions will be letting out, but I'm not going to cry because this is a happy video. Now, on the day when we were about to travel, so I moved to Abuja. You know, from Abuja I left to Cyprus, Istanbul, then Cyprus. I'm sure you must have seen that vlog. Now, when I was leaving, hey, please though, if you are traveling, don't make a mistake of going to the airport 1 hour before you go. My eyes see shege. What my eyes saw. And don't go and overpack. Just of you that want to travel and you think you want to carry all the clothes in your wardrobe. In fact, at the end of the day, I didn't carry a lot of my clothes, a lot of my shoes. I didn't pick those things because they're not really going to be useful here. There are no parties like that. And those that know me know how I like dress normal, with my high heels and all that. I had to leave all of those things back in Lagos, you know, and you know, get some more comfortable dresses. And trainers, tennis, and all that. And guys, when we get to the airport, so first I even got to the airport really late. My flight was for I think 8:45 or so. I can't even remember again, guys. It's been a month, you know. You know, but and I think I left the house around maybe 5 or 6. We got to the airport, you know, people were already rushing, and guys, that's how your sister went to carry. I had 4 luggages. So normally I'm entitled to carry 3 luggages and 1 handbag, 1 hand luggage. So each of those 3 luggages should weigh 23 kg, and then my hand luggage, right? Men and brethren, that's how your sister went to pack 4 luggages. In my mind, right, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just pay for 1 extra luggage. And to my shock, each of my bags, in fact, exceeded 23 kg. So that one, first of all, was a minus. My 4th bag, and my 4th bag is also aside my hand luggage. And mind you, hand luggage is not just hand bag. Hand luggage is like another bag, you know, that you can put things, maybe your school bag or any box that you can, you know, take with you into the plane. So it's not like maybe just hand bag. I packed everything full. I packed food stuff. I packed clothes. And don't forget that I was already running late, right? And they said once it was, I think once it was 7:30, those that, you know, would even collect payment for maybe excess luggage, they would stop working. So, hey, Jesus. When I got there, I started weighing my bag. One weighed 30 something. Another one weighed, I think maybe 40 something, because you know the bag that I actually put the food inside was very heavy. Cause I packed a lot of things now, you know. If you that's how the guy just said, "Madam, there's no time. You need to check in now. Now so I begin to fling. I will open my bag. Thank God my younger brother was with me. Thank God I asked that guy to come, because a whole full bag, I didn't even open it at all. I couldn't. Because when we went to check the amount I would have paid for extra luggage, almost 200k plus, I said, Kenny, what's happened? When we even did some, you know, removal and everything, the money was still about 134. I said, I don't get, like, I'll pay for extra luggage 130 something thousand. I didn't know it would be this much. Oh. That's how I began to remove things. Like, I would just, this one fling, It was not funny. So this is what I would advise. If you're traveling, please don't go and pack all the load in your house and say you want to travel with it. Take the things you only know you will need. Yes, I know that things may, you know, be expensive when you get there, but the things you can do without, just leave them behind. They removed my oil. You know, I knew that, oh, they will not allow me, you know, go with palm oil and all, but I was thinking they will still allow me go with groundnut oil. Kenny, they removed my groundnut oil, everything. Hey, Lord. I'm telling you now. So, like, it was not funny at all. My things were scattered. I just had to, you know, go with the ones I could go with, you know, packed my bag, and then that was how I came over. I had to return one bag actually. Then when one of my friends was coming some days later, I asked him to help me bring something also, so he was also able to assist me. So that's another way you could probably get people to help you bring stuff. But then you also remember that they also would even have their own things to bring. In fact, truth is, when even that my friend brought that stuff, I still had to pay for extra luggage, about 60k plus or so. So if you want to carry extra luggage, carry your money and hold with you. So that was how I was able to come over here, you know, got to the airport, got a taxi to bring me home. And guys, do you know how much I paid for that taxi? So, you know, my friends have even told me that, you know, when I'm spending it, just assume like you're spending, I don't think it is, you know, just money like that. Because when I even converted it, like we paid 300 TL, my friend and I, remember, and I paid 300 TL, and that was about 20k plus just for taxi from the house, from the airport to our house. Do you get? So yeah, the when you compare the currency to naira, it's really high, because again, it's also because of the value of naira. Do you get? So imagine me working here and earning in this currency, and you know, saving in naira. You can imagine. Do you get? So that's how it is. So that's just the gist about how I came here. Hey, and I hope that this has encouraged somebody. I hope that this has been able to, you know, give you some hope and let you know that your dreams are really valid. Like, they are very, very, very valid. Your dreams are very valid. God is going to help you. God is going to raise helpers for you. God is really going to raise helpers for you, and I'm just trusting God for you. I'll be dropping another video after now, maybe sometime later in the week. It's going to be addressing scholarship opportunities, you know, travel, visa, and all that. I got a guest already for that, and I'm going to be dropping it later this week, so just watch out for that. There's still more gist coming, don't worry guys. More gist. Please make sure you subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about it, because and don't forget, let me know if you really love this setting, or you probably just prefer a plain background, or maybe a cutting background. And